The house is a long thin house. It was built late 1700s. It's very thick stone walls, and around here we've got a very high water table. The ground's clay, and we tried all sorts of things to get rid of the damp in the walls. We tried digging a ditch on the top side of the house to put drainage in there. We tried chemical injections into the wall and nothing seemed to work. The walls constantly felt damp. Any plaster was flaking off, paint was flaking off it and so on. So we were struggling to find any way of stopping the damp. This is the same position further along the lane, and you can see what the ground's like just below the lane, which is the same line as our house. So this is what the house is built on, this sort of thing. We can check from the well where the water table is, and for the last year it's been nearly at the surface the whole time. The sort of thing that we were contending with was when we decided we wanted to put the wood burner in. We wanted a solid concrete base for it, so we dug down about 1 metre. Then we went to bed. When we came down in the morning, that hole was full of water. It was like a little paddling pool in the house, and that's what we've had every time we've gone down into the ground underneath the house. So if you've got that much water just underneath your house, there's no damp proof course in this building with it being so old, then the walls are sitting in that water, and by capillary action the water just climbs up the wall. It's just sucks up the water, and then we've got damp walls. The plaster won't stick on, and we've got a constant mess when we're trying to paint, and that won't stick on either. So we were struggling to work out what to do in order to improve the house. This is an example of where we tried. This was a lot closer injections than we were told to do. But even so, it just didn't have the effect. It would dry a little bit in the summer, and then the damp would come back again in the winter. So we tried digging down on the top side of the house, and we've got drainage in there to take all the water away, and we were still getting damp in there all the way through and across the drive. So this is all, it's got a perforated pipe drainage with gravel above it to take all the water off past the house, which I know is flowing because you can see it flowing out at the far end. My husband also did all the mortar. He repointed the whole house as well. Yeah, so we went to the NEC, the Home Building and Renovations exhibition, looking for some way of putting in a damp proof course, and just totally by accident we saw a display with, it was obviously to do with damp. Stopped and found this magnetic damp proof course. We decided to go ahead and have it installed. But after a year, things have improved dramatically, and I knew before we had the tests, because I could put my hand on the wall and it didn't feel damp and clammy anymore. We've been through a process in the last year where something was obviously happening, because alongside the wall there was always dust. I'm told it's salts out of the wall, and that has stopped now, and we're now on to the point where the wall is becoming dry enough inside for us to start plastering. Right, this wall, you can see I've taken off some of the plaster. When I first peeled it off, all these green bits, you could actually see the water on them. Now there's just dust on there, nothing more, it's totally dry. And up the other end of the house, this is the wall where the plaster was constantly creating dust as the paint slowly peeled off, and now it's perfectly dry again. So as I say, we can now start to do something about decorating it, making it look nice. The first few years in the house, we used to sit with blankets round us in the evening, because even with fires it didn't feel warm, it felt cold and clammy. Whereas now the walls are drying out, you walk in and it feels warm. We never had that before, so it's made a huge difference. Well, we tried everything else. We hadn't seen any difference. This has been installed. It's not costing anything to run, and it's made a huge difference. We've not done anything different apart from that, and it's been the worst year that we've had for damp, and yet we've got the improvement shown. So I beg to differ, it does work.